Hey, Larison. How you doing? Hey, Victoria. Hey. Hey, ReeRee. How you doing? I hope everyone's doing good today. We're gonna be talking uh about this lovely young lady I have on my screen. Hey, Miss Louisiana. Hey, Slim Teddy. Hey, Jay. Hey, Destiny. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everyone's doing good tonight. Come on in. Everybody speak to everyone. Um, I'm going to get started in a few minutes. And I'm going to drop the link as well. So if anybody wanted to join me on the StreamYard, you can. I'm going to go ahead and get started. This young lady on the screen, her name is Tashana Ward. She was 25 years old. And on June the 2nd, she passed away. She went to the ER and she waited for 2.5 hours before she was, she wasn't even seen. They took her back. They did an EKG on her because she came in complaining of chest pains and shortness of breath. They took her back. They did the EKG. They did a chest x-ray. Hey, Keisha. They did a chest x-ray, but they sent her back out to the waiting area. Hey, Content. Hey, Shen. Hey, AB. Yes, so they sent her back out to the waiting area. And so she arrived at the hospital at 4:58. They took her back, and at 7:27 she left the ER because she had been waiting for over 2 hours. She left the ER. She called her sister. Her sister came and picked her up. Her sister came and picked her up. They left and went to the urgent care, thinking that the urgent care would be quicker. She got to the urgent care and collapsed. Her sister called 911. Oh, I skipped the part. At 8:39, once the ER realized that she was no longer there, they called her phone at 8:39. That's when her sister told the person on the phone that her sister had just collapsed and she was on her way back to the hospital. At 9:07, she arrived at the ER. At 9:25 that same night, she was gone. She had an enlarged heart. Now, an enlarged heart is not a disease. There's other things that go along with you having having a enlarged heart. They found out that she had a enlarged heart. Um, they found out that she had an enlarged heart when she was pregnant. She had a baby in, I believe it was in May, March or May, one of the two. March the 12th, she had a baby. So while she was pregnant, they realized, okay, she has an enlarged heart. Hey, Jeremiah. So they realized that she had an enlarged heart. And so my question is, okay, y'all knew that this lady had underlying issues. Why would you allow her to go, go back out to the waiting area and just wait? Heart disease is one of the leading killers in women. And that is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about heart disease in women, as well as, we have to be our own advocate over our health. Not just men, not just women, but men as well. We have to be our own advocate. Over our health. She was only 25 years old, and she is no longer here. Now I can speak to myself that I do have a heart condition. I found out about my heart condition when I was 35, 36 years old. I don't know. In my research, I don't know. They didn't say anything about that in the medical examiner report. They didn't say anything about her knowing. Now, I do know that she had her baby at another hospital, so that may have played a factor in them not knowing her medical history because of yeah, that's heartbreaking. Yeah. They may not have known her medical history because if she went to another healthcare organization, then they may not have known, they may not have talked to each other. And so because of that, they may not have known that she had the, the problem prior to. But my thing is, okay, y'all knew that she came in complaining of shortness of breath. Oh yeah, it was an emergency. Yep. Exactly, Larison. And I would have too. I would have yelled that to the top of my lungs and let them know that I have a condition. Like I said, I found out about my condition when I was like 35, 36 years old. So I have a rapid heartbeat. And and they said it's atrial fib. Sometimes my heart feel like it's about to jump out my chest. So I know that if I was to go to the ER, you're not going to send me back to the waiting room to wait. You're going to pull me back. No, they didn't receive her. No, her medical records and medical history. They didn't even get that far. They just took her back and triaged her. And okay, they say, okay, your vitals are normal. Your EKG is normal, but you have this enlarged heart. But because they was busy, I feel like they should have kept her back there. I don't know if her age played a part in her not speaking up and being more forceful and having them keep her back there. But they sent her back out to the waiting area to wait. They sent her back out to the waiting area to wait. And then while she was waiting, she wrote on Facebook at 6:45, she said, "I really hope I'm not in this emergency room all night." And then at 8:35, she wrote, "IDK, what they can do about the emergency system. But I mean, I damn sure know they need to do something." She said she been here since 4:30 that afternoon with shortness of breath and chest pains. And she said that they told her the wait just to be seen was 2 to 6 hours. Me too. Me too, Keisha. I'm surprised that they made her wait as well with those type of symptoms. I'm surprised they made her wait. And like I said, I don't know if her age played a part in her not being so much of an advocate. I have a child the same age as her, and I speak to my kids often and let them know, speak up. And if you cannot speak up, call me, because I will for sure speak up for you. Yep, sometimes they will. AB, I don't know if she had insurance. I know that probably would have played a part in it as well. I don't know. I did research on this. I don't know. I can relate to this story. It was done to me the exact same way. So it does happen. Yep. Wow. Yep, it does. Yeah, that was wrong for that. That was very much wrong for that. They was very much wrong for that. She went back out to the waiting area. I mean, it was like, even with all her complaining, they just ignored it. And she thought that she would get faster care by going to the urgent care. But sadly, that wasn't the case. And she is no longer with her. With her enlarged heart, the enlarged heart comes from other underlying symptoms like high blood pressure, stress can cause it, things like that. Now, I don't know, and it didn't say in her medical examiner report if she had prior history of hypertension or by the stress of her being pregnant, if that caused her heart to enlarge. But I feel like, well, I don't know if it would have changed the outcome if she would have told them, look, this is an issue, an ongoing issue. This is a known health issue for me. Yeah. I took my daughter to the ER because she hit her head open. And we had to wait like 2 hours. Finally got everything. See? Wow. Did they triage her? They do like a concussion protocol? I wish one of my mods was here, because she is a nurse and she could speak more to that. But we have to be an advocate over our health. We really do. We have to be an advocate over our health, because if not, we would get passed over. And so, the best way to do that is create your own list of any problems that you've been having prior to going to the doctor. Make a list about that. Um, Research your providers. Yep, hypertension is the main cause. It is. Yep, hypertension is the main cause. Yep. We need to create an action plan. I'm looking through my paperwork, on my notes. Yep. We have to be our own advocate. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Understand how your health insurance work, because that's so important. But hey, Tanera, because you need to know what your health insurance is going to pay for and not pay for, your coverage. Do your own research. Let's see, we have to be sure to always be truthful with the doctors as well. Leaving out small details can be costly. That is so true, CB. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me, Tanera. Thank you everyone for joining me tonight. I really do appreciate it. Yes, we do. We no matter how embarrassing or whatever that you may feel that it is, you need to share every little detail, because that one little detail may change the whole outcome of your health. Is Thank you for joining me, Tanera. Thank you. Hey, ReeRee.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing fine.
That's
Thank you
good.
for joining in.
This is a touchy subject for me. Of
Me
course, you know
too.
why. Um,
hmm
when it comes down to heart, there is no going back.
Nope.
So I just want everybody to realize that if you're not taking care of you and what you have to do, far as taking care of your health, is blood pressure, because blood pressure is the main cause of an enlarged heart.
Yep.
So if you're not getting your blood pressure regulated and making sure that you're on medication or you're eating properly, you can cause more damage than what you think you can. And I encourage us as African Americans or whatever ethnic culture y'all call. I don't say black, I say African American. But
hmm
I encourage you to get checkups on a regular basis, meaning blood pressure, meaning diabetes, meaning all of that.
hmm
I also suffer I also suffer from a heart condition, which is very terminal. There is no going back for me. My only hope now is God and a transplant. Um, I know exactly how it feels to go to the hospital and be turned away and told to go sit in the waiting room when you're barely breathing.
Mm.
When I first was diagnosed,
Take your time.
I was picking my son up from the Boys and Girls Club, and I got off work, and I kind of felt kind of weird, like I was really tired, and I felt like it was warm outside. Maybe I was having an asthma attack, or maybe my asthma was bothering me.
hmm
So I pick him up, and I get like maybe a block away from my house, and I just almost basically just lost control of the wheel. Almost passed out. My son ran in the house and grabbed my nebulizer with the longest extension cord and brought it out to the house. I was able to get on the neb machine just to get enough breath to call 911 to get to the hospital.
hmm
They took me in the hospital and told me that it was my asthma. So they pumped me up with steroids and gave me plenty of treatments. Of course, I felt better because my airways were open.
hmm
So that went by for like a week. A week went past again. I went to a hospital. I went to the ER because of the same condition. I couldn't breathe. I felt shortness of breath, like really fatigued. They told me to go have a seat in the waiting room. We'll be with you when we can. I was only breathing on 73% of room air oxygen at that time.
Wow.
So My husband, which when I was married then, literally snapped off, picked me up, and took me to another hospital. Like literally grabbed me, put me in the car. We drove to another hospital. Had I not made it there, like I said, within 5 or 6 minutes, I probably wouldn't be alive today. So they got me on oxygen, got me breathing good, got me stable. So I was battling this for going on, I want to say 6 weeks, back and forth in at the hospital. So finally, a red flag goes off. Let's do EKG on you. Let's do some heart. Let's do a heart thing. My heart was so enlarged that it was already beyond repair. No medication could have cured it, no anything.
Mm.
Emergency surgery went in for heart surgery for a pacemaker defibrillator. Make a long story short, I have uncontrollable blood pressure at the time, and I still do. It's
Mhm.
hereditary for me, but
Mhm.
it's hard when you are fighting a disease that you feel like is has more power and it's way more forceful than what you are, and you have no control of it. It's hard
Mhm.
to wake up every day and don't know if you're gonna live or die, or if your heart is gonna give out, or if you're gonna have a heart attack, or even if you're gonna be capable of taking care of your family. So I
That's
say,
so
I
true.
say that take care of yourself. Be
That's so true.
knowledgeable of your health. Be knowledgeable of what the doctors are doing for you. Because I had a doctor who I was under his care for like 6 years. Never moved me on. Never said, "Let me figure this out." And now I'm coming to you with uncontrollable high blood pressure. It's hereditary. You know this. So instead of you passing me on to somebody who can actually help me, you hurt me because you let me. I got a lawsuit. But what is that going to do for me and my family if I'm not here to get it? Nothing.
No, exactly,
So
exactly.
take
And
care. Take care. You have
yep,
to.
yep. And you do. And you really have to take care of your body. If they tell you to take your medication, and I mean, I'm sitting up here telling y'all this, but I do not take my medication on a regular basis, even though I'm sitting up here telling y'all about this. And this was a real big wake up call for me. One of the medications that I am on, it controls my blood pressure, but not only that, it helps regulates my heartbeat. Because if I do not take it, my body could be sitting still, but my heart feel like it is racing. Yesterday my goal was to go live, but I, at work I started having palpitations, and so after that I get real tired, I get drained, and the only thing I want to do is lay down. So if they give you medication, take it. If you can control it with diet and exercise and get off that medication, please do. Because, like I said, I think I was like 36, 37, somewhere around that age whenever I found out about my heart, because I would be at work and it would feel like I had butterflies in my chest, like it was like fluttering. And so I said, I mean, I just couldn't take it anymore. And then I was laying in bed one night, and I was married at the time too. And so my husband at the time, I said, I think I need to go to the ER. I said, I'm just not feeling good. And so I went to the ER, but thankfully at the time, the ER that I went to, that was not busy. So by the time I got there, they took me straight back, and they ran every test in the book on me. And as soon as I got finished with one test, they was taking me back to take another one. As soon as they got ready, it was like they was literally like passing me around. As soon as I left one, I get back to the room, they was pulling me right back out again. I had to wear a monitor for 48 hours. And then that's when they came to the conclusion with my diagnosis. Blood pressure, my blood pressure does play a big part in that. And so, like I said, if they give you medication, I know that we don't want to be a slave to medication or anything like that, but I feel like they give it to us for a reason. And because they give it to us, we have to take it. And like I said, if you can control your health with diet and exercise. I recommend that you do that. And heart disease is the number one killer in women.
That's because it's a silent killer.
Huh?
Heart disease is a silent killer. Heart disease is
Mm-hmm.
a silent killer just like it is blood pressure.
Mm-hmm. It is.
You can have a heart attack and don't even know you have it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's how silent it is.
Exactly. And it doesn't show up the same in men as it do in women, because in women
Yeah,
sometimes we may feel like, oh man, I just got a little, indigestion, or you may have a little stomach pain, but then again it may be something related to your heart.
correct.
Yeah. So we really do have to be our own advocate, and we cannot take no for an answer. ReeRee, your story broke my heart. I'm sitting here in tears because
But you know what? God is good. God
yeah.
is good. I've been brought a long, long way from being in that bed, not even able to lay flat, laying on six pillows, sleeping in a recliner. When I tell y'all I have been through it, I have been through it. And I just got my breakthrough New Year's Eve. I was receivable of a heart transplant, and I'm on the waiting list, and I'm number one in line.
Glory to God.
So when I
Glory.
tell you that God is good, He's good. I've always asked Him just give me one more chance so I can make it right.
Yeah. I tell you, you can't beat God no matter how hard you try. You cannot beat him. Ooh, because I'm telling you, it is nothing but him, for the reason that I sit here today and talk to y'all. Nobody but him, because I was an asthmatic growing up, and the last um, asthma attack I had, I was 15 years old. So if I was to have one now, I think it would just like kill me. My mom had left and she came back, and by the time she got back, I was laying on the floor panting. By the time she got me to the ER, they said if she would have laid there 30 more minutes, then she wouldn't be here. So, I know that, it's nothing but God for the reason why I am still here. And so, if I have to use my voice to spread the word and spread the goodness of Him, and to let everyone know, that you need to make sure that you are the boss over your health, I am here to do it.
And
Some,
Candy, my prayers go out to you as well.
hmm,
I say my prayers go out to you as well.
thank you,
It's a
thank you.
struggle until you can walk in the shoes that we walk in. Nobody would ever understand.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Let's just say, oh, you don't look sick, but what does sick look like?
Exactly.
I get that all the time. Oh, you look healthy, but what does sick look like? There's no face about being sick.
Exactly. And everyone who has a heart condition does not walk around with, oxygen, and because to look at me, you wouldn't even know, and to look at you, you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know. And that is so true. Sickness, you know, it don't have a face. It does not have a face. I'm gonna try to read some of these comments. Anybody got any questions or anything? But some of the symptoms of an enlarged heart is shortness of breath, abnormal heart rhythm, and edema, which is swelling. So if you ever start experiencing any of those symptoms, I mean, I recommend that you do go see a medical professional. But I mean, if you're having any symptoms, don't even ignore it, because that one thing, it's just, it's just this or it's just that. No, go check it out, because you never know. Okay, Keith just said, I was at the hospital for a test with my cane, and this lady said, "You don't look like you need a cane." I just smiled. I had just had 2 strokes. Oh wow, Keithia. Oh, blessings to you. Wow. Yep. CB, swelling of the lower extremities. Yep. Just a question to you all. Do y'all feel that might might all been a solid problem to women's hearts, even though it's meant for pain? Um, I don't know, because sure enough, because I have never taken that before. Have you, ReeRee? Have you ever taken Midol before? I have never taken that.
I have taken it, but it wasn't like an ongoing thing. I think I maybe take it like maybe once or twice, because I had real bad menstrual cramps. But normally I would take, naproxen or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But mine came from just, hereditary uncontrollable high blood pressure.
Yeah, and that's how I am as well. I have a family history of uncontrolled high blood pressure. Yeah, I do too as well. But like I was saying about being our own advocate, don't be afraid to ask questions, understand your health, do your own research, maintain your medical records. And now they have electronic medical records. I
Yeah.
know the health system that I see, we can log in
Yeah,
and
me too.
yeah, and pull your and get your own records, and we need to keep a copy of that, so so just in case something happens, we could say,
And,
hey.
and be mindful of the medication too that they're giving you. Some
Yep.
things don't work for everybody.
Yep.
And read up on it. It don't take nothing to read. If you don't feel like you're for sure about what you're being given, or you don't know what the side effects of it is, read it.
Mm-hmm. That is so true.
You can't even give me an aspirin without me knowing what's going to be the side effects for me. I
Yep.
learned my lesson the hard way.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. And if you don't like the opinion of your physician, go and get a second opinion.
Yeah.
Go get a second opinion. And also, too, we need to review our medical records for any errors that may be in there. And know your rights. Know your rights. Thank you, Shen, for joining us.
Hey, Shen.
Hey y'all. I just want to speak because I know I'm younger than you guys, and I learned my experience comes from me being young. I was like 23, 24 when my experience started, and I had never had any problems with health as a child. I was an extremely healthy child. The worst thing I ever had was pneumonia, and I was like at 8. I was like 8 years old when that happened. And other than that, I never had anything. My colds, even they weren't, bad or anything like that. But I'm sorry, my phone's going off. But I know we talk about being advocates for ourselves in the hospital, but we have to be an advocate for ourselves with ourselves. I ignored so many things because you know how in our community we're like, well, just sleep it off, be strong. Oh, well, that's all it is. It's just a little bit of that. Well, that won't kill you. And a lot of times, those are symptoms. We have to learn to listen to our bodies.
Oh
And
yes.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of stuff that I went through was because I didn't know to listen. I didn't know that it was a sign. People fail to realize that if your body is aching, if your body is doing this, if it doesn't feel right, then that's because something is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Body is telling you. So don't ignore it. And I even now, even once, I got on my oxygen and all of this stuff because it was so foreign to me. I had this desire to go back to being strong. I would still ignore things that my body was telling me. So when I would go back to my doctors, in my mind, I wanted to be healthy. My mind couldn't process what was actually happening in my body. And so I was in denial. So when I went to the doctor's office, I wouldn't necessarily tell them that, hey, I was lightheaded walking in here, or I spent most of my day, in a fog because my oxygen level was going up and down.
Mm-hmm.
See, my heart problem didn't come until after my lungs, but I didn't recognize the symptoms either. I didn't realize that my lungs were affecting my heart. I do have the swelling in the feet and the ankles. I do
Mm-hmm.
have the rapid heartbeat. I do stay up late at night because I'm afraid to go to sleep because I feel like I may die in my sleep of a heart attack. I'm
Mm-hmm.
33 years old, and there are Bambi can tell you, Tanira can tell you, Rhonda can tell you, everybody can basically tell you that I be up all night sometimes because I'm afraid to go to sleep.
Baby.
I have um, aspirin readily available because sometimes I take aspirin just in case if I feel like I may have a heart attack. I suffer from heartburn. And sometimes I'm afraid that the heartburn that I think I'm having is actually a heart attack because the symptoms are so similar.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to live in fear, but you also don't want to live and ignore things because, like I said before, there were so many things that I ignored because I wanted to be healthy. Um, I had a doctor who diagnosed me with asthma, and he was lazy. He did not do the work. They made me do all the stuff that you're supposed to do to help determine what was what, but he didn't look at it. He didn't really look at my breathing test. He didn't really look at my X-rays. He really didn't look at my blood work. I would literally go do all of that stuff. As soon as he walked in, he would just scan through the little files and basically just start talking to me about what prescription he was going to give me. Well, it looks like everything is the same. And he would send me on my way. Me not knowing what to do and, what to expect. I'm thinking, well, he's been in this profession for a long time. People speak highly of him. His office is always full.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what he's talking about. So I trusted him. I didn't doubt him. It was a friend of mine that told me, hey, Shen, my daughter has asthma, and what you're experiencing, I have asthma. My daughter has chronic asthma. This is not it.
Mm-hmm.
So she recommended me to go to her daughter's doctor, and that was at the Alabama Lung and Allergy Center. And I think that's if y'all saw my video, that's where I talked about taking the 4 breathing treatments in one sitting in one visit, and there was no improvement.
Mm.
They came back to back. They made me take the breathing test, the breathing treatment. I had to do the test with the little man. I failed it. They gave me another breathing treatment. I failed the test again. Another breathing treatment. I failed that until the doctor just came in and was like, "Look, this isn't working. I need to send you to another doctor because we need to figure out what it is." Now, had my friend not said anything to me, I probably would have still been going to that man, to that doctor, until I had to go to the hospital. And by the time I did go and see that doctor, I had managed to build up a tolerance. When I finally went to the emergency room. ReeRee talked about being at 73% sitting in the emergency room. When I walked in, I was at 70.
Wow.
They immediately took me to the back. I guess they were going to bring a wheelchair out for me,
Mhm.
but I followed the nurse and walked right back to the room. And they were like, Wow, you walked in here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, because again, I had built up a tolerance for it. And when
Correct.
you put me on the oxygen, then it had dropped down to 50. They looked at me, they said, "How are you still on your feet?"
Yeah.
Now, I had been going to work every day, and when I would walk to my desk at work, I had got to the point by the time I would get to my desk, I would have to hold on to my desk because I was that lightheaded.
Yeah. Hmm.
And my crazy ass mind, excuse me for cussing on your pound, I'm sorry, but in my crazy mind, nothing ever clicked to say, "Hey, Shen, why are you lightheaded?"
Correct.
I didn't think about it. I was just like, well, I'm just short of breath. I'm like, maybe I need to lose some more weight. It never clicked. It never clicked. Where I can't walk 20 feet without having to stop.
Stop and
Or,
hold on to something to take it.
Mm-hmm.
right,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yep.
know, and it didn't click. All I'm thinking is my asthma's getting worse. No, this is way past asthma.
Mm-hmm.
Way past that. But I wasn't listening to myself because I wanted to be healthy so bad. I wanted to continue to be the dancer that I was. I wanted to open a dance studio and do all of this other stuff. I wanted that life. But guess what? I was slowly taking that life away from myself by not listening. Now, had I gone to get a second opinion earlier, had I listened to my body or to myself earlier, I probably wouldn't be as bad off as I am now. I mean, it's probably still would have happened because it's an autoimmune disease as well that's triggering me. But
Mm-hmm.
we could have prevented it. They could have slowed the process. My lungs are scarred from inflammation, and
Mm-hmm.
both of my lungs are scarred, and it's pretty much almost completely covering it. I have to be on oxygen 24 hours a day.
Wow.
Wow.
It did not start that way though.
It doesn't.
Nope,
And,
it doesn't. And
and see,
did you stick with that physician for so long because of his reputation,
Correct.
and you didn't feel like that you needed to go and get a second opinion?
when I went to that doctor, he was very warm. He was nice. He was comforting. His office
Mhm.
was very comforting. His
Yeah.
nurses, his staff, everything about that office made me feel safe.
Hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
thought, hey, he's been doing this for over 30 years. His other patients, they were of all age groups almost. They were young like me, they were old. So I was like, okay, hey, he's a good man.
Mm-hmm.
When I was recommended him, I was given a list. It was three of them. He was at the top of the list. He was the one that they recommended. My insurance was going to pay for it. I'm going to the best, which is what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
But
Yeah.
guess what? He was not the best.
But you also get a hold of these physicians who want to keep you as a dollar sign, as a number, that don't like to pass you on to somebody and say, hey, I've done everything I can for you. Let me find you another doctor who can actually treat you better. And that was my case. My doctor
Mm-hmm.
held on to me and didn't release me because he felt that if he released me, that was a dollar. Instead of saying, okay, this I cannot help this woman with her health. Let me move her, let me push her on to somebody else. Had he
Mm-hmm.
done that, I might not even be in the situation that I'm in now.
Yeah.
But that's to say that you get comfortable when you feel like somebody has your best interest at heart. Your doctor is almost like a parent to you because they're so nurturing, they're so caring, and you form that trust bond with them. So who are you to judge? You don't have a PhD in medicine, so you can't tell a doctor if he's right or wrong. You can only tell him
Right.
what your symptoms are. So for me, I felt like what she had said, it was a comfort zone for me. And then when she says that she can't sleep at night, she and I feel you at 100%. It's nice that I'm on these live streams and don't want to go to bed because I'm scared I might not wake back up the next day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That is so true. That's so true because we are put our trust, well, the most precious gift is life, and we put it in the hands of these professionals, and we say, you're going to take care of me because you know what you're doing. And I mean, I trust you with this.
Right. Right.
Hey, Derek.
And I thank God for the doctors I have now, because the doctors I have now are no nonsense doctors. They don't care about, me wanting to be cool, and,
Right.
they're like, oh, okay, well, if, I'm gonna give you the weekend, but if Monday we don't have any improvement, we're gonna sit you down and go and keep you up here with us since you won't do right at home.
Yeah, that's what I get all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at the point to where my doctors actually personally text me on the weekends to see how I'm doing, if they need to call any medication in, or what's my breathing level at, and
Right,
because I have a monitor here, I have a monitor at work, I have a machine on every floor of my house and working in my car. So I'm very well heavily monitored now, and I'm grateful for who I have as physicians now, because that wasn't nothing but God. I'm talking
right.
about He opened doors from one position to the next, and I have been put in the best hands possible.
That wasn't not but God.
It wasn't nothing but
And y'all, I'm gonna say this. I mean, we're proof that God is definitely real.
correct.
We are definitely proof, because the stories that we tell, none of us should be here.
Mm-mm. At all.
None of us should be here.
At
Um,
all.
and we're proof that life also goes on,
Mm-hmm.
because we're not gonna let this stop us.
Not at
Mm-hmm.
all.
Not at
And
all.
we're gonna live our lives the best way that we can, and it's full
And
to
we
the
are.
fullest.
We
Mm.
really are.
Yep, we are. We are. And our stories is gonna, hopefully someone will hear
Help
this,
somebody else.
and
Yeah.
then it will help somebody else to say,
Hmm.
okay, hey, you know what? I have been feeling a little funny. I have been feeling a little lightheaded. I have been seeing a little spot here and there.
Right.
I have been having stomach pains or back pains, because that's another sign too, stomach pains or back pains. So let me go ahead on and get this checked out, because I don't want, this may be something else. Not to say that we want that to be the case, but
You need to recognize it.
mhm,
You need to
mhm,
be able to recognize it in other people, and not just
Correct.
you. Because my friend recognized something in me. She knew that it was asthma. She was like, no, this is something else. She recognized it because,
Hmm.
of her life experiences. So if I can share what I've been through, and it makes you think twice about yourself, so you won't put it off like I put it off,
mhm.
Correct.
you know?
Correct.
Or keep allowing someone to tell you that, oh, well, maybe it'll get better with time, and it's not improving, and you know for yourself that it's not improving. You feel the quality of life that we're living is not the greatest. And I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but I'm going to say for myself. My
Yep.
quality of life is, I come from an athletic family. I ran track, I played basketball, I was on the swim team, I played volleyball. I was very athletic. I could run a 5 mile K with no problem. And I was born with asthma. So for them to tell me that all the time that these were asthma attacks, I knew in the back of my head that this is more than just asthma. But I
Right.
convinced myself to say, well, they did say, the older you get, sometimes your asthma get worse, or sometimes the older you get, it gets better. So maybe I'm just a case that is getting worse because I'm getting older. That was
Right.
not the case.
And I do want to just say one other thing that I'm gonna shut up because I talk too much. Um,
No, keep on
No,
speaking.
you're
I don't
fine.
mind.
we got to stop telling people when they tell us that they don't feel well, or they're telling us what's going on. Oh, you'll be okay. I'm gonna pray for you, and leave it at that. Or we kind of. I'm trying to see how can I say this. We ignore it. We try to, because it makes us uncomfortable to hear that someone isn't feeling well. We just go straight to, you know, I'm gonna pray for you. Oh, everything's gonna work out. God's gonna heal you. God also gave us common sense
Mm-hmm.
to go
Correct.
ahead. Hey, I put these things on earth for you to help heal you. Yes, I'm gonna heal you, or I'm gonna take care of you, but we have to do it this way. And stop telling people, you know, don't listen to don't go to the doctor. Don't let people go to the doctor so they
Yeah.
can find out what's going on with them. Even if they do have to go to one or two or three doctors, that's fine. You're never going to find out sitting at home,
Exactly.
and it bothers me when I hear people not being realistic. You have a cough, don't say, oh, it's going to go away. No, get it checked out.
Because
Mine
you've been
started
coughing for
as a cough.
come on now. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you got the flu and it's sticking around. Sometimes it's not the flu, it's just the same symptoms. So sometimes it's not as small and as innocent and benign as we think. Sometimes it really is something. And one thing triggers another. Like I said, I didn't start off with a heart issue. I'm suffering right now from CFH because of my lungs. So I have to see a cardiologist to prevent my stuff from getting worse. I have to have, right heart caths done twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So my
And those are
doctor
not
said
nice, trust me.
my doctors are trying to prevent me from having to do a double transplant, where I would have to get both a double lung transplant and a heart transplant. That's what we're fighting to prevent for me. And keep in mind, I'm 33 years old.
Mm.
I started this, I was diagnosed with interstitial lung disease, which is scarring of the lungs, at 29 years old.
Mm.
For me at 29, I had a plan. I had a plan
Good.
of starting a business. I had a plan of things that I still wanted to do because early in life, I pushed off a lot of things because, well, I'm going to get myself established first. I'm going to do this first and I'm going to do that first. So some of this time I spend in regret because there were so many things that I put off thinking I had all this life ahead of me,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm not saying that my life is over, but I do have to make some adjustments to things that I want to do. And it slows down your process. So don't put it off. Don't wait it out. Don't just let me see how this blows over. Do it now. Get up off your butt now. Go to the doctor. I know you don't like being poked. I hated it. I
Mm-hmm.
hated it. But I'd rather be stuck in the arm with a needle than to be put in a grave.
Correct.
Amen. That is so true.
Correct.
That is so true. That is so true. And if that cold linger around longer than a week, you might need to go ahead and get that checked out and
Right.
make sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But
And
I'm gonna pray for y'all. Y'all just continue to pray for me.
No,
yep,
we're not gonna pray for each other. We're gonna pray with each other.
yep.
Right.
Amen. Amen, ReeRee.
Yes.
And next month is Heart Awareness Week. I think we should all do something in honor of that because we all suffer from the same issues and it's a big part of our life. That's just
I
something I'm putting out there.
I totally agree with that, ReeRee. I am all for that.
I'm
I am
definitely
all
for
for
it.
that because this is an everyday part of our life. And when I heard that young lady's story, it really did hit home for
Bring it
me.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I'm like, wow, she was so young and she's the same age as my daughter. And she's the same age as my daughter. And so I couldn't even imagine, me having to lay my daughter to rest at the age of 25.
correct.
Yeah.
As Colin said, a cold can turn into pneumonia. That is so
Yeah.
true. That's so true.
Well, a cold for me
It's
turned into
deadly.
this.
Yes.
My autoimmune disease. I just found out last year that my autoimmune disease was literally triggered by that cold that I caught from my little cousin. It was the virus that triggered it.
Wow.
So had my cousin decided to keep her son at home that day, maybe I wouldn't have. Maybe this may not have happened. I'm not trying to blame them because it could have happened later on in life. But I know that the start was that virus.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So We have to deal with it. I gone to the doctor, immediately afterwards instead of waiting almost a year thinking that it's just pollen in the air or something. You know,
Mhm.
that could have, we don't know what I could have prevented. But again, I ignored it. I
Yeah.
blamed it on other stuff. But that was me being in my own ignorance
Mhm.
because I didn't know. But the people that's in the chat, please listen because Candy and ReeRee, they're here telling y'all this stuff, and I'm sharing as much as I can. Get it now.
Mhm. Yep. Get it now. Please do, because you don't want to end up sitting on the other end because we only have one life.
Correct.
We only have one life, and we have to make sure that we are living our best life. I apologize for any comments that I missed. Anytime I am so engaged in a conversation, I don't really. I mean, I see the chat, but I do not read it. So if I miss your comment, please charge it to my head and not my heart. But I thank y'all so much for sharing y'all stories with me because I mean, this is so impactful. And like I said, whenever I read that young lady's story, it really did, touch me because I'm like, wow, she found out that she had an enlarged heart when she was pregnant. And I did not tell y'all that a part of her story was that she did deliver the baby, but the baby did not make it.
Hmm.
So and
Wow.
yeah, so not only was she dealing with that, and the stress of that alone,
No, complaint. Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the stress of that alone, because she was dealing with that, she had just that was in I think the little girl, she was born in March. She was born in March, so she was dealing with that, the stress of that, and then everything else that comes along with life. And so, we would never know if, treatment sooner. Maybe she might have been having symptoms the day before or 2 days before, but just ignored it.
Right.
And sometimes that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
you feel the symptoms, but you just don't really acknowledge that they're really there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, that was
Yeah.
the case for me because I mean, I sat around, I know at least for about a month, I was like, ooh, it's like little, what I'm saying? Like little flutters, like little butterflies in my chest. And then, I had no idea that I mean, it was my heart. And if I put my headphones in, I can hear my heartbeat sometimes. Hey,
Hmm.
Green Organic.
Yeah, because I was at work when I had my encounter with my first heart attack. Didn't even know I had a heart attack. I was right at work doing my normal, but I felt dizzy. You know how like you feel like dizzy and faint, and I woke up to like my boss calling my name and not knowing why he was calling me. He was like, he just kept. I'm like, why are you sitting there calling my name? He was like, well, I've been calling you for like 10 minutes. Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I think I was just lightheaded or something. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah. I get a call like this is July 2nd of last year. I get a call like that Monday, that following Monday, to tell me to come in right away because my chart reading, I guess my monitor didn't pick it up right away when I walked into my home or either when I was at work, but it picked
Mm-hmm.
it up. And when it picked it up when I was getting ready to go to work, they gave me a call. Was like, we need you to come in right away. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, you just had a heart attack, and are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. What are you talking about? They're like, you just had a mild heart attack. Your heart just
Mhm.
stopped for 8 seconds. I'm like, what? And when I went in, sure enough, that's what it was.
Wow.
Can I ask y'all a question? Um,
Yes.
have y'all ever been asleep and woke up because you felt like
Yep, I know what you're about to say. Go ahead, but I'm gonna let you finish.
Mm-hmm.
um I don't even know how to describe it, like a feeling where it's like you lost your breath
Mm-hmm.
or your chest. I don't know. It's I can't
Felt like
explain.
somebody was sitting on your chest and you couldn't breathe.
Right, and it just like woke you up. It's like
Yeah.
a weird feeling in your chest.
That is called
Mm-hmm.
palpitation. That's called heart palpitation. And
Yep.
what that is the bottom chamber of your heart that is not beating correctly. So it's not giving your heart enough beats to make your heart function properly. So what
Mm-hmm.
that causes is the causes of fluid overload on your heart. And that's what builds up water around your lungs and everything else. And that's why you have to take sometimes Lasix to push that water off.
Yeah, I have to take Lasix every day.
Me
Yeah.
too.
So okay. So I'm glad y'all so cleared that up because I do need to tell my doctor
And if
about
you
it
feel that,
because
you need to let them know that because it may be a time to where it's time to say we need to get you a monitor. A pacemaker,
Mm-hmm.
don't ever think that it's a bad thing. That's a good watchdog for you because had I not had it, my heart would never got shocked back like it was supposed to, and I wouldn't be here talking to y'all right now.
Mm-hmm. And so I have palpitations every day. Every day my heart is racing.
Do you have a device?
No,
Why
no.
not?
Um, Having this conversation, that's why I say this is a real wake up call for me because I need to go back and see my cardiologist again because I really
Immediately.
think that I need a medication adjustment because like I said, I could be sitting here talking to y'all and my heart is racing. And then by the time I get through with the conversation, my body is tired. And,
yeah,
I told my family, it is like my heart is running, but my body is sitting still.
right.
You also
I
have to
know
make
that
sure that you check your
I do that. I go through
potassium
that
too.
all the time.
Make sure that you guys are getting your potassium checked because what happens is when you're on Lasix for so long, you're steady urinating everything out of your body. So you're pulling all your nutrients, your vitamin D, you're pulling everything out of your body because they want you to maintain a certain fluid output. So when you do that, you're pulling all of the potassium out of your body. That can cause you to have a heart attack as well. So when you go in for your checkups, you make sure when they run them labs, that potassium is number one on that list.
Riri, it's so funny that you said that because that Friday that y'all know my video where me and my mom went to lunch. That same morning I went to the doctor and they're getting ready to put me on potassium because of the Lasix. And they said the same exact thing that you just said, Riri. So you're dead on. You're absolutely correct in what you're saying. So they just told me the same thing.
Yeah.
Anytime your potassium gets up under 300, I think it's 3.5 or 3 point something, 3.2, you should immediately start taking potassium. And there are other natural ways to put potassium back in your body, like kiwi, sweet potatoes. And people think bananas is the main source. It's not.
Hmm.
Bananas, bananas is a small amount of potassium, but the better things for you is like I said, sweet potatoes. Even get on a potassium pill. I take potassium pills every single day, and I still have to go get my potassium checked. And you don't want to sit there for 4 hours and get a potassium drip. It burns and it hurts like hell.
Mm,
Hmm.
And I get those twice a week.
mm,
So know your body. When your potassium starts to drop, you'll get lightheaded, you'll get headaches. Sometimes you get that chalky mouth taste, that chalky mouth feeling. Your
mm-hmm,
body will let you know when your potassium is getting low. And then your
Hmm.
heart start, giving you irregular heartbeats. Your heart does a lot. One thing I can tell you, when your heart is gone, you gone. There's no coming back. There's not like you can function on a half of a kidney or a half a lung, or you can get a donor transplant that's alive. You literally have to wait for a dying person in order to get a heart.
Right.
yeah.
So, Candy, I recommend that you go and tell them that you need a second opinion. If you're getting palpitation, they should immediately have put a pacemaker in your heart to make sure that when you're not pacing the proper way, that there's something to watch out for you to pace you back. It's like a watchdog. And that when I tell you that thing works wonders, it works wonders. I'm not recommending saying go ahead and do surgery, but if that's
Mm-hmm,
what's going to keep you living, then
mm-hmm.
by all means do it.
Yeah, because right now they just have me, I have been on the and I work in healthcare and I never know the difference between the two. I am on simvastatin and I am on metoprolol. I think the metoprolol is the one that controls my that helps with the with the
Overall helps with the blood pressure.
and then as well as the palpitations. But like I said, reading her story and talking to y'all, this is a real wake up call for me, because I mean, I need to start pushing my cardiologist to say, hey, look, you know what, I am having these more often. This is what's happening to me. So they can go back in and take another look to make sure that everything is still functioning the way that it should be, or hey, it's time for us to take this next step. Yeah, but it is a central part of everything. It
It is.
connects all. It sure is, mukbang.
Yeah, it's scary too. I can't
It's
lie
very
and
good.
say that it's not scary and that, you know, it's easy to say, just talk to the doctor. But sometimes
Hmm.
you're really afraid to hear, what they may say. Sometimes it's not as bad as you may think, but it's the possibility, that it can be bad, or what that means. Because once they say it, they can't undo it. You know, once it's been put out there, you know.
Correct.
It's like you can't rewind it and act like it doesn't exist. You have to deal with it. And so that part is scary. And I think that's another reason why so many people try to avoid going to the doctor, because once it's out there, your life changes.
Hmm.
Changing regardless.
Yep. Mukbang. I have had a Holter monitor, but I only had one when I was first diagnosed. I haven't had one since.
When
And
were you diagnosed, Wendy?
huh?
When did you get diagnosed?
When I was between 36 and 37.
So how many years ago was that?
That was let's say 37. So
Has it been longer than 2 years?
yes, it's been longer than 2 years. It's been about 6 years now.
Oh wow, you need to reevaluate your doctors. For one, let me tell you something. Anytime you have a heart condition and that's all they've given you within the last 6 years, there's something wrong there. Especially when you're not progressing into the right direction. What was your heart fraction the last time you got it checked?
Um, I don't remember.
Those are key things that you need to start remembering. You need to remember your heart fractions. You need to remember when the last time you got an EKG. You need to remember those are the
The last
most
time I had an
important.
EKG was last year.
Okay, so you get those once a year, which you should be getting them twice a year.
Hmm.
Did you do the heart stress test yet?
No, I haven't did that.
Where they put you in a chamber and they have you breathe and bleed to this machine? You haven't done that yet?
No, I
What
haven't
about have
did
they
that.
done the blood testing for you yet?
Nope. He just had me come back once a year.
That's not good. That's not good at all. Because if you don't know where your heart fraction is, you don't know if you're progressing, if you're declining. I
Mm,
went from 35 to 15 within a year and a half.
wow.
And I'm at 15% right now. And I'm a walking testimony. I shouldn't be walking right now. I shouldn't be talking to you. That's how low my heart fracture is.
Candy, I'm going to have to say, I definitely agree with ReeRee, because
Yeah.
my heart issue isn't as extreme, and I still have to go twice a year.
Correct. Those are things that you need to know. I've learned the heart insight. There's nothing that nobody can tell me that's different. I have studied that and start reading up on stuff. There's a lot of different groups that are out here. Like there's a congestive heart failure group. I'm gonna send you some information, Candy. There are a
Okay.
lot of resourceful groups that are out here, and it's not even through like Facebook or any of that. It's just directly through email, or you can go on different websites. But I find those groups that are very healthy and start reading labels on food.
Mm-hmm.
Start reading your labels. And I do a lot of fresh vegetables. I don't do any canned. I have literally changed my way of eating and the way of life. But my by me being on these steroids to keep me up, I've gained the weight, so it's harder on my body. And I
Mm-hmm.
know that my back is hurting because of my heart, and it's also because of the prednisone, because it deteriorates the bone.
Yeah.
But you have to learn what your heart fractures are. You need to know when the last time you got an EKG. They need to find out if your heart is even flowing in the right direction, if you got palpitation. Those are key things to know where you are in with your heart situation. And
Yeah.
I'm
That's
coming down on you, but I'm coming.
no. Because like I said, sometimes we need to hear this. whether or not we want to hear it or not. But I mean, we need to hear it. And I mean, that's why I said this is a real wake up call for me. And thank you for me sharing this with me and coming down on me, because I mean, this definitely going to push me tomorrow to make the phone calls that I need to make.
I have one more question. Have you ever done the stress test on the treadmill?
No, I have never done that.
Get your stuff in order. Get you some doctors that's knowing what they doing. Those are the key things to find out what level your heart is on. You could be at a percentage to where you may not even need to be on medication as strong, or you may need a stronger dose.
Now that's true
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Sometimes you may be on the wrong medication.
You could be on the wrong medication. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
the one. Have you guys ever heard of Kolanor?
No.
Kolanor, they came out with Kolanor. Kolanor was, I'm pretty sure everybody know about Anestro. Those were the two medications that were guinea pigs. I was the first one in the state of Illinois to try those as a guinea pig, and it worked for me. I now do commercial voiceovers for both of the medications, and I get them at no charge. So these are things that I'm trying to tell you, that pharmaceuticals will reach out to you, even with your situation, to help you improve. I was paying like almost $200 a month just for that prescription alone with my insurance. So not to come out of pocket with nothing and to get it for free was the best thing ever. And that was because of doctors who have put me before in different cases. But that's what I'm telling you. You need a dream team when it comes down to your
Mhm.
heart. You
Mhm.
need a dream team.
That's so true. That's why I said, reading her story and then, talking with y'all. This is a real wake up call for me, because I mean, like I said, I've been on that medication for so long, and then, my cardiologist said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna see you once a year." I go in, they do an EKG, and send me back out the door.
I think because I go twice a week because of my potassium dropping and because of my situation. But for you, at least you should be going once a month.
Mm-hmm.
Once a month, every month you should be going to check your blood level to make sure your potassium is good. You also should be going in to check to monitor how your heartbeats are doing. Those are things you need to know, if your aorta valves are working, or if there's any blocked arteries, or these are the key things that's going to keep you living.
Mm-hmm.
So don't play with it. You need to buckle down and start making demanding things to get done. Because as long as you sit back and allow them to keep giving you what they want to give you, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah. And and I mean, I sit here and I mean, I advocate for health. And that's why I say this is a real big wake up call for me, because I'm like, okay, well, you know what? You can't just keep on, shoveling yourself on out the door, and then you're not, taking control. But
Well, it's just like we were saying before. I think CB was the one that I saw say it in the chat. Tell your doctors what's going on. Don't leave out anything, because that little thing that you're leaving out can make all the difference in your treatment and in
mm,
you getting better. That one little thing that you may have mentioned to a friend, but you didn't mention to your doctor. And then when something happens, your friend was like, well, she did say this. And then they'll be like, well, why didn't anyone tell us? Well, we thought she did. So make sure you're telling your doctors everything. Anything that makes you uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the only reason I'm bringing this up, I brought that up with ReeRee, about me being in my sleep and waking up like that, was because of the conversation, and it came to mind. But guess what? I, I'm going to mention that to my doctor, and I may actually email her tonight and tell her about that, because I don't want to have to wait until my next appointment. So we have to let them know, and can't be afraid. I'm not saying you're afraid to do it, but sometimes we just put it in the back of our mind, and we don't take it as serious because it seems so minor when it occurs. Now I
that's so true,
realize that
okay.
it's bigger.
That is so
You
true.
could have did on the head, didn't she, Candy?
Yep, that's true. Even with, I mean, me having 15 years in the game of working in the
You're the
medical
worst
field,
patient.
and we are the worst patient. And I am going to look into that. I am going to call my primary care doctor and ask her to give me another referral because I have to have a referral
Oh, so you
to.
have to have a referral for a cardiologist, correct?
I do.
What
My
state are you in, if you don't mind me asking?
North Carolina.
Okay. Now, do you guys do Shan? I'm not getting personal, but do you guys weigh yourself every day?
Yeah, I
I,
do.
I have. I don't like getting on my scale because I'd be like,
Weigh yourself every day because that's how you know when you have a fluid overload or a fluid upgrade. That's
yeah,
how
I'm
you
supposed
prevent
to.
yourself from being sick.
Yeah, I'm supposed to. I'm literally supposed to weigh myself every
You
day.
are. If you're 5 pounds
Yeah.
too much, then you need to call your doctor. Say, hey, I need to give me something else. I have a pill that's called a grenade, and what it does is it works on top of Lasix, and I take that maybe 3 times a week to push out more water. You do not want to be sitting up in a hospital with an IV with the legs with a diuretics IV and a catheter to get 40 pounds of fluid off your body because you can't urinate it out on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
And
no,
that's
I
why
don't want
most
the
people have
catheter
come
now.
home.
No, because I tell them no, I'm not doing the catheter.
So you, in order for you, so start weighing yourself so you know before you get to that point.
Yeah, I do. I weigh myself every day
Me
before I
too.
get
Well, I
to the
started
shower.
just now because I wasn't.
Yeah, I need to go ahead and start. Okay, Riri.
I'm gonna be on you, Shannon. You know I am.
Yeah, you hear it in my voice.
Anything,
Okay.
anything over 5 pounds, you need to let them know.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And Candy, I'm gonna be on you to find out if you don't went to a cardiologist, what they said, what was your heart fraction. Let's get these tests going. I'm gonna be on
Okay.
y'all,
No, please do. Please do.
and that's all
And
out of love. Seriously, it's all out of love.
yeah, and I mean, I know it is. I know it is. And um, and I mean, I need that. I need that kick. Like, come on,
You
let's get
do,
it on. Mm-hmm.
because I
Yeah, I
didn't
know I
have that. I
do.
was my own self motivator, but
Yeah.
my son motivates me. When I look at him and my mom and see that they are dependent on me, that's what gets me up out of this bed every day and to keep fighting the fight that I fight. Because I would have gave up a long time ago if it was just about me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, whew.
Well,
Okay, well, I got some folks holding me accountable, Riri, and
yeah.
keeping this. So, all right.
All right. Well, I thank y'all so much for joining me on the panel tonight. I thank y'all so much for being so transparent and sharing your story with everyone. Thank you to everyone who came in and joined us tonight. You could have been anywhere on YouTube, but you decided to join us, and I really do thank you for that.
Thank you for having me, Candy. I'm about to slide on out.
All right, and I'm about to end this live, but I
Thank
really
you for
do
listening to
appreciate
live.
you. I really do, and I will be back with my update on what's going on with me.
I'm going to be looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And it
Well,
don't stop here. It's going to continue, just to let y'all both know.
yeah. That's so true. That's so true.
God brings people together for a reason.
He
And
does.
you may
He
not know
does.
how and why. And I never go against that. But you also have to be careful that the devil is very discerning too. So you got to
Mm-hmm.
know what's good and what's bad. But this was a reason for me to start my channel and to meet all of y'all because I would have never done this. I would have been still here feeling sorry for myself. Well, not feeling sorry for myself, but just dealing with this on my own. But I have an outreach with people that I know that's genuinely caring, that's genuinely supportive, and that's genuinely, really want to know what's going on. So I thank you. I really
Yeah.
do.
And I mean, I'm so glad that I mean I did share my story because talking to you, it gave me stuff that I mean I need to take back to the doctor and say, hey, I need to take a look at this. I need to know these numbers. This need to happen. Find find a new cardiologist because
Correct.
I've been on this medication for so long. It's time for an adjustment because
Exactly.
because I mean I shouldn't be still in the same condition that I am in whenever I first started this journey.
You know what you got to go through.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
I
even
do.
have to.
I do. I really do. I really do. And that's why I say, I'm glad that, I opened up and shared the story because I was very reluctant of doing that.
You have to. You have to.
Mhm.
You can't complain about it. You can't, feel sorry for yourself. You got to keep it one day at a time and just thank God that you are able to do what you're able to do, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Because if we complain about it and you're not going to get anywhere by complaining. You just got to get up and
Mhm.
keep moving because you know what? It's somebody who didn't wake up this morning. It's
Amen.
somebody in the hospital bed who needs a heart or needs a kidney and won't be able to get it and may not make it to see tomorrow. So when
Yeah.
I look at those situations, I thank God for
Mhm.
the 50% life I do have or 70% or whatever percentage it is that they claim I have. I thank God for it.
Yeah. Amen. Amen.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm going to exit stage left.
All right. Thank you so much, Riri.
No
Thank you
problem. Thank you
so
for having me.
much. You're welcome. Thank you. And I thank you to everyone in the chat for joining us tonight. It started off about Tashonda Ward. She was 25 years old and she passed away due to an underlying heart condition. She had an enlarged heart. So I thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight. Like I always say, life is short. Make it sweet. Mwah. I love each and every one of y'all. Have a blessed night.